Let's look at question number 81. What is Azure Monitor and how does it help in maintaining application health? So let's populate what is Azure Monitor first. Azure Monitor is a comprehensive service that collects, analyzes, and acts on telemetry data from Azure resources, application, and on-premises environment. This will help maintain the health and performance of your applications. And Azure Monitor provides full stack monitoring for application and infrastructure. And these performance metrics are in real time. Let's look at some of the capabilities of Azure Monitor. First, data collection. You can use Azure Monitor to collect metrics and logs from Azure resources, applications, and on-premises environments. Second, data visualization. You can visualize data with the built-in dashboards or custom dashboards you can use, which has ability to convert that into charts and workbooks to get a comprehensive view of your system health. Next capability is alerting. You can set up alerts to notify the team of any potential issues before they impact users, facilitating quick remediation. Next is integration. You can integrate with external tools like Logic Apps, ITSM, and Power BI for extended functionality and better insights. So some of the examples where you can use is if you have an e-commerce platform, you can use Azure Monitor to track the performance metrics and ensure smooth operation during peak shopping periods. Let's look at question number 82. What is Azure metrics and logs in Azure Monitor and how do they differ? We just now talked about Azure metrics and logs in the Azure Monitor, the previous question, but we never delved deep into it. So let's do that. So in Azure, first and foremost, in Azure Monitor, there are two components. One is metric, another one is log. How do they differ? First, let's look into the metrics. The metrics are the lightweight and ideal for near real-time monitoring. Because metrics are a numerical value that represents system performance and are collected at regular intervals. They provide a lightweight way to monitor the status of resources in near real time. Example of a metric is CPU utilization, disk I/O and memory usage, and this helps in capacity planning and trend analysis. The second type is called logs. Logs are the detailed records of events and traces that provides in-depth information about the operations of Azure resources. Logs are essential for detailed analysis and troubleshooting. Example of logs are activity logs, resource log, or diagnostic logs. Some of the benefits are logs provides comprehensive context for any sort of deep or in-depth investigation. This helps in identifying the root cause of issues. This is essential for auditing and compliance purposes. Let's go through question number 83. What is Azure Policy and how does it help enforce organizational standards? First, let's populate the short answer. Azure Policy is a governance tool that enables organizations to enforce rules and ensure compliance across Azure resources. Azure Policy provides a centralized way to create, assign, and manage policies to govern every resource in Azure. Let us look into some of the use cases of Azure Policy. You can use Azure Policy to enforce naming convention in your Azure resources, because sometimes when you let everybody create certain resources, you will end up having no specific set of naming convention followed within your organization. This forces everybody to follow a particular rule. Second use case is you can restrict location for resource deployment. You can target a specific region for production workload and another region for development or testing resources. Another use case is you can enforce security configurations are in place by looking into these policy violation. Some of the examples where you can apply Azure Policy include automatically tagging resources for environment information. You can enable diagnostic settings on virtual machine, or you can restrict usage of certain virtual machine sizes to manage cost. Let's look at question number 84. How does Azure Policy remediation work? So first, let's understand what is remediation. Azure Policy remediation helps correct non-compliant resources automatically. This feature is essential in maintaining governance and ensuring that resources are in line with organizational standards. What are the steps you can take to make it happen? First, you can define a policy with a remediation task. This involves creating a policy that includes specific remediation tasks designed to correct non-compliant resources. Second step is once the policy is set, Azure continuously monitor the resources to identify any of that do not comply with your defined policy. And when the non-compliant resources are detected, the remediation tasks are automatically initiated to bring these resources into compliance. So that is how the Azure Policy remediation work. Some of the benefits include automated governance, risk reduction, and cost management. Let's look at question number 85. What is Azure Blueprints and how does it simplify environment setup? Let's populate the short answer first. Azure Blueprints enables organization to define a repeatable set of Azure resources and policies to ensure consistent and compliant environment. They are particularly useful for managing complex deployment across multiple environments, ensuring that each environment adheres to organizational standards and regulatory requirements. What are these components included in the Azure Blueprint? Let's look at this one by one. First is role assignments. You can define who has access to what resources within the environment. Second is policy assignment. This ensures resources comply with organizational standards and policies. The next capability is ARM templates. This helps you deploy a predefined set of resources in a consistent manner. Another capability is resource groups. This helps you organize resources for better management and oversight. Question number 86 is a scenario-based question. Can you give a scenario where Azure Blueprints would be highly beneficial? So let's try to paint a picture of using a scenario. You can come up with your own scenario. This is the scenario which I could come up with. So the scenario is an organization where they need to deploy a production environment for multiple teams, ensuring all environments have security policies, monitoring, and compliance settings applied to them. So that's the scenario we are explaining. So the solution what you're proposing is using Azure Blueprint to package network setups, security policies, monitoring, and RBAC. When you do that, when you follow this and apply this solution, every environment is going to be consistently deployed with compliance baked in from the start, reducing any sort of manual errors and speeding up the deployment process. Because Azure Blueprint provide a powerful tool for managing and deploying Azure environments, ensuring the organization can maintain these compliance, security, and everything in a consistent fashion. Let's look at question number 87. How do you monitor the performance of an application using Azure Monitor Application Insight? So that's the question. Interviewer is trying to understand your knowledge on Azure Application Insights. First, let me help you understand what is this Azure Application Insight. So Azure Application Insight is part of Azure Monitor, is an extensive application performance management solution or a service that enables developers and IT professionals to monitor live application. It can help you track application performance, diagnose issues, and detect anomalies before they impact the end user. Let's look at some of the benefits. First key benefit is this will help you pinpoint performance bottlenecks and areas of improvement, leading to more efficient and responsive applications. Second benefit is application insights enhance your application reliability by diagnosing and resolving issues quickly, ultimately improving the user experience. And the third benefit is continuous monitoring. Azure Insights facilitate continuous performance monitoring in production environment, ensuring the application remains stable and performs optimally. Some of the example or the places where you can use it is in web application. You can monitor web application to ensure they are responsive and reliable, identifying issues such as slow page load time or any sort of failed transactions. Let us look into question 88. What is activity log in Azure Monitor and why is it important? So first, let me help you understand what is activity log. The Azure Activity Log provides detailed insight into operations performed on resources at the subscription level. It serves as a critical tool for monitoring and managing the health, performance, and security of your Azure environment. What are the key benefits of Azure Activity Log, or why is it important? So let's look at the benefits first. It offers you a centralized monitoring capability because it consolidates all activity logs in one place, making it easier to manage and analyze. Second, by monitoring admin operation, it helps you ensure that only the authorized changes are made to these resources, thus enhancing the security. Third is activity log facilitates early detection of issues, allowing for quicker remediation and minimizing downtime. Fourth is operational transparency because activity log provides clear visibility into who did what and when, ensuring accountability and operational governance. Some of the points which you can use to highlight the importance is Azure Activity Log provides you audit trail and compliance. It helps you troubleshoot resource behavior and it can help you detect suspicious activities as well. Let's look at question number 89. What is Azure Log Analytics and how does it enhance monitoring? First, let's populate the short answer for what is Azure Log Analytics. Azure Log Analytics is a powerful service within Azure Monitor which is designed to collect, analyze, and act upon log data from various sources. Some of the features are centralized data collection. You can use Azure Log Analytics to gather log data from various Azure resources. It could be in an on-premises environment or from other clouds into a single repository. Second, advanced querying. You can use the Kusto query language or KQL to perform detailed and complex queries on log data, enabling deeper insights. Azure Log Analytics provides you good visualization tools which offers workbooks and dashboard to create rich interactive visualization of log data for easy interpretation and analysis. On top of it, you get rich alerts and automated action mechanism which allows you to set up alerts based on log queries and automate action for proactive issue resolution. Let us look into question number 90. It's a multiple choice question. We are going to do a deduction. Which of the following is not a component of Azure Monitor from these four options? So we talked about Azure Monitor in a couple of questions ago. So if you are having any doubt, just read this reference or go back to the previous question. First, let's look into the first option, metrics. Metrics are part of Azure Monitor. Metrics provides numerical data about the performance and the health of your resources, enabling you to visualize trend and track performance over time. Next is logs. Logs is again part of the Azure Monitor. This helps you capture detailed information about events and activities in your Azure environment, allowing you to perform in-depth analysis and troubleshooting. Next is virtual network peering. This is definitely not part of Azure Monitor. Virtual network peering is part of the networking and it's a network component to connect two different network together for communication. The fourth option is alerts. Alerts is definitely part of Azure Monitor, which helps you notify critical conditions or issues within your Azure resources, helping you to respond quickly and mitigate any sort of potential problem. So the correct answer, which is the wrong answer, because virtual network peering is not part of Azure Monitor.